What's up, you EDC hooligans? It's the Last Inhabitant here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Prometheus design works, aka PDW Badger. This is a frame block folding EDC knives by PDW, and what I'm going to go through is I'm going to give you a rundown of the specs, what I like about this knife, what I dislike about this knife, and my final thoughts. So what we have here is a compact, stout, really well built, aka I love this damn knife, frame lock folding EDC knife. As you can see, we've got titanium handles. We've got these milled grooves here. We've got a 3-inch spear point blade style. Most knives are either drop point or tanto. And this is the only knife I have that's got a spear point, and I absolutely love the design. We'll get into more to that later. We've got dual thumb studs. Got jimping on the back here. As mentioned, it's a 3-inch spear point blade, and it's a super thick, stocky blade. And this is where also most of the weight of the knife is in here as well. As mentioned, titanium handles with these milled out grooves. I love the aesthetics of this. It's just so unique of the designer and of the manufacturer as well. It's a distinct knife, and when you see this, you'll know it's the designer and it's a knife made by PDW. It just stands out, and that's just for the aesthetics that I actually love. Now, if you notice, it's not an open back. It's 2 pieces of titanium that have been slapped together real nicely here. And I'll talk more about this later because this is ridiculously hard to do, and the fact that you have to line these up really well, or else when you close your blade, it's gonna slap against the corner and you'll hear that screeching sound. So the machining involved in getting 2 pieces of titanium to fit perfectly for a production knife is damn well commendable. And going around, we've got these we've got jimping on the back here as well. So I'm guessing you sort of hold the knife in this position. I'm not gonna be stabbing anybody. I work in an office environment. There's no way in hell I'm gonna walk around my knife like this when I'm cutting something out of like my falafel sandwich. I'm not gonna be cutting or stabbing anything like this. This is my most common use, my most common carry holding knife. And this fits really well. You can see the cutouts for your thumb are smooth. There are no hot spots. It's just rounded real nicely. And this just disengages like butter. It's like a real nice high-end butter EDC spear point disengaged knife. If that makes any sense. All right, getting back here. Now, this runs, as you can tell, it's a frame lock knife. It runs on Teflon washers. The overall length of the knife, it's about 7 inches, 3 inches on the blade, 4 inches on the handle. Now, let's talk what I like about this knife. I love the design, I love the specs, I love how compact it is, and I love the weight. They have really dialed in the design and aesthetics of this knife, and I'll just be sitting there at my desk and I'll whip out the knife and just look at it and admire it. And you know what? People can look and I'm like, what the hell is your damn business? This is my knife, this is my damn lunchtime. If I want to look at this thing, I'm gonna look at this thing. And it just looks real damn nice, and they've put a lot of thought into the design. I really love these milled grooves. There is not a single hot spot or anything that's roughly edged on this knife. Say roughly edged, not a sharp edge other than this. Anywhere on this. It's completely dialed in, it's completely smooth to the touch, and it feels good in the hand. And that's for me, that's a good thing. That's what I like about this. It needs to be pocket friendly. This clip, it's a deep carry clip. It's an awesome clip. I work in an office. I need my knives to ride low. I wear business casual. I can't have a 3-inch butcher knife sticking out of my damn pocket. I need something compact, and it rides deep. This clip helps a lot with the weight. This knife runs about 4.4 ounces. That's heavy. That's heavy for a compact knife. And most of the weight in here is this thick blade stock. When you pick up this knife and you deploy it, you feel it'll hold up to the job. I mean, I can cut up my damn falafel sandwich. I can break up a chicken. I can go out there and take off a damn tree. But, you know, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just saying that it's really well built. And the deep carry clip allows it to ride nicely in the pocket for that weight. Now, what else I like about this knife? The spear point. It's unique. I don't have a knife that has a spear point blade. It's surprisingly well at cutting. I'm not going to be stabbing anybody with this damn thing, and it's not a stabber. It's a purpose-built EDC knife, and the blade is very functional. Did I also mention this is S35 VN steel? And made in the USA. S35 VN steel is one of my favorite steels. It's a nice high-end steel. It's a steel that'll last. It's a steel that's really well done. It's a steel that'll hold its edge. And for a production knife, I appreciate the fact that they did S35 VN steel. I'm just going through a couple of the design aspects here. As mentioned, everything is just completely dialed in. There are no hot spots. It flies right out. Now, this runs on Teflon washers. This is the first knife I have that I've run on Teflon washers, and it took some time to get used to. There was also a break-in period for Teflon washers. I'm used to having knives on phosphor bronze washers and bearings. And let me tell you something, once you have a knife with bearings and phosphor bronze washers, you enjoy the smoothness of the deploy. And it took some time to get used to Teflon washers, and maybe that's just because it was something new to me, and I've never had a knife before with it, but it was really well dialed in after it came in. One caveat of this piece is when I got this knife, it was very stiff. I couldn't deploy it with my thumb. And I was told it would take about, it'll take some time to break in. And fine, I've got patience. I got other knives to carry. I sit there and I flick my knives all day. That's part of the appeal of EDC folding knives. It's a thumb flicker. After about a month of flicking, it would not break in, period. I had to send my knife back. My knife was gone for about 3 months. Now, I've got the patience of cement on a damn sidewalk. You know what? And I got other knives to keep me busy too. But when I got this knife back after 3 months and the communication was on point, but it took a long damn time, it was completely dialed in. I could deploy it real easily. The lockup was just on point. And look at that, it's just butter to deploy. There's nothing accidental, and it just fires right out. That's one of the things I sort of disliked about it, that I would have appreciated a bit more QC in dialing in the deployment. But you know what? Maybe that's just a personal preference. And I have to admit that PDW is a small company churning out really well-built pieces, but in small batches. So yeah, it's a give or take. But in the end, I would not regret this knife. Would I recommend this knife? Absolutely. Have I recommended this knife? Hell yeah. One of my buddies who's a knife addict, who's got a bunch of other knives, recently picked this up, and I've had the chance to compare both of them, and it's dialed in. No issues, super consistent. The deployment is just on point. I really like this knife, and I carry this knife quite frequently, and it's one of my favorite knives. And I carry 2 knives, and this happens to always be one of them. Who the hell doesn't like a second knife? But we'll just go quickly, take a quick look here. Did you see that drop shot? And that's on Teflon washers. It's so well dialed in. Let's give you a couple close-ups of the blade. We've got that frame lock here. And the thumb studs are dual, and it's got this glow-in-the-dark material here on both sides. And I believe the idea is if you sort of drop your knife, you can see it because that shit will be glow-in-the-dark. I love shit like that, man. Who doesn't like glow-in-the-dark stuff? I'm a big Loom fanatic. See my Manta there, so just have to drop it in, and I appreciate that. Hey, it's cool. I will never drop my knives, but I can appreciate it. In wrapping up, if you're looking for a compact, stout, well-built production folder, I think you should highly consider this. The specs are high-end, and it runs at $439 USD. I highly recommend you check it out, and I think it's the kind of knife that you can take anywhere, from the office to the campsite to the home, and it'll be able to hold up to any of your thoughts. So, hope you like this review. Subscribe to my channel, and we'll throw a couple other knives in there. By the way, I filmed this about 3 times, and my hands were really dry. So I threw in some olive oil and some citrus in there. So, hey, come back later, check out some knives, and my sensitive hands. All right, catch you guys later.